reason for the MPP's defeat is still in the minds of Ghanaians, and it might not be washed away by 2028. For that reason, the MPP should choose a candidate who was not part of that bad record. Mahamudu Bawumia was a vice president and therefore an integral part of this poor record. And so people will tell you, we don't want those who were part of the record. We want somebody who was outside that one.
The first argument which we should look at, that let's start from ground zero, if we go by what you are saying, understand? The so-called bad record, you see, I'm telling you that there's evidential support that it was not because of Bawumia. I want to stress that. And people should not say, oh, Bawumia was in charge of the economy. I've heard J. June arguments that he was in charge of the economy. And then I flip it. When the 90 or so MPs wanted to kick out my good friend Foriata from office because they believe that he's mismanaged the economy, you understand? That is the clearest indication as to who was responsible for the economy. There's no dispute about it. We never had a situation where the 90 plus MPs were saying that let's pass a vote of no confidence in Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as the vice president. And then when they take the budget to the parliament, the budget is brought in the name of the president of the day, and it's the finance minister who goes through it, or anybody of his choice, like majority leader, one of the days read the budget. So please.
But if somebody tells you, Atacha, that it was Mahamudu Bawumia who told the general public that he had sorted out the exchange rate problem in 2017, locked up the rise of the dollar, and handed over the keys to the IGP. He told Ghanaians that. In addition, Mahamudu Bawumia is the only vice president who has attended the presentation of every single budget except 2024. So he's thrown himself in as a big part of the NPP's economic renaissance credentials. So he's the NPP's economic renaissance candidate.
Paul.
And he had achieved some significant success in 2018, 2019, 2020. The improvement of the economy was attributed to Mahamudu Bawumia's ideas. This digitalization that comes across, this is Mahamudu Bawumia's idea. We've all said that. Gold for oil. Till now, we're still saying, and the NDC had admitted that they are benefiting from Mahamudu Bawumia's idea. So this was not a pedestrian part of the Akufo-Addo economic roundtable. This was a key actor in it. If we are saying that the economic situation, including the DEP, is part of the MPP's defeat, surely Mahamudu Bawumia cannot excuse himself from that process. But there are others who can say, I wasn't part of it.
Let me be very, very, very upfront with you and some of the people who believe that, oh, if we succeed in blaming Bawumia for the economic woes of Ghana because he was a vice president, then we'll become significant. And so this is the Aseng song, you know. They do not have any presidential significance unless they keep saying this all the time. And lower Bawumia because he was in charge of the economy. He was not in charge of the economy. Let me tell you, the space that Akufo-Addo gave him, he performed.
Which space was this?
Well, all that you want to talk about, whether or not we should go digital, whether we should have the address system, whether we should have the drones, and the rest of them. But if Akufo-Addo, didn't give him the opportunity to look at whether going to the bonds market, is the way to run a good economy. And he gave it to his cousin, who went to the bond market a lot. And even that was not enough. And he would tap domestic funds of individuals and the rest of it. How do you blame Bawumia for it? When we were talking about the Renaissance, you could see that he used to come to Parliament and then try to aid the finance minister in what he was doing. When they were reading the budget, he stopped. Because now the finance minister wanted to do what they want to do. So you could see people compare Akufo-Addo's first term in government. And then when it became wayward, that look, the one who understands the economy the most has been sidelined. and Ken was doing what he wanted to do. The results is what we are seeing. And
So,
I
so
believe,
Dr. Bawumia was sidelined.
oh, please. Who doesn't know this?
By whom?
By the president and his cousin, of course. What did you see?
By Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta.
In the running of the economy. He was not in charge at all.
How do you know this?
Well, at least I could see what happened when I was in the cabinet. And I could see also what happened when I was outside the cabinet. I'm not here to wash our dirty linen in public, but show one record that, Bawumia was the one who was trying to overhaul the exchange rate and he failed. Do you know what was happening at that time?
Gold for oil was to overhaul the exchange rate, but we ended at $14 per dollar. Now the NDC is on 10.
Do you know whether somebody wanted to that the system should operate full throttle, or it was like, if it's coming from Bawumia, let's not glorify it? Do you understand what is happening?
Are you suggesting that there was some undermining of the gold for oil policy?
Oh, goodness me. But how much money was released from the Bank of Ghana that we should buy gold when Bawumia was vice president? Let's do statistics and you see that do not say a man should be pregnant. It's a cruel argument. When he hasn't gotten the wherewithal, a man has no womb to be pregnant.
What's the point?
The point I'm making is that there is no evidence that huge largesse of resources were given to Bawumia to run the economy and he blew it. There is no...
Nobody's saying that. Are people saying that?
But what is it that you are talking about?
They are talking about he being the chairman of the economic management team.
What economic management
team? And then that
team?
Is expected to lead the economic renaissance.
Was there an economic management team that was trying to, drive the economy and direct Ken?
Dr. Bawumia is the one who introduced...
No, if it was so, the MPs have eyes to see. They said, look, this bad manager of the economy, Bawumia should go. What did they say?
Bawumia cannot go on the MPs by the law.
Resign.
No, well, okay, they could have called for his resignation. Yeah, they could have called for his resignation. In fact, but they were calling for the dismissal of Ken, not his resignation.
Well, and look at even the NDC MPs. They want the censure.
Yes.
Why? Who was responsible for the economy and who has to be censured?
It was Dr. Bawumia who gave the general public the list of the very fantastic actors at the economic management team. Jan Bafo, Alan Chemate. It was Dr. Bawumia who said.
Find out from them whether it was in name or it was in function and who was actually in charge. You see,
why didn't we hear all of these things?
Because he's a decent man. He will not wash the dirty linen of the government in public. As some people that if you pinch them, they will say some unprintable things. And do not punish a decent man and convert it to cowardice. I'm the one who is a macho. You want somebody who will speak out. Speak out what? Is it everything that you speak out? If he was cool and had a shock absorbers, so we have the common will for the sake of Akufo-Addo's government, not having an explosion from within, we should give him credit that we have a very solid man, tried and tested, resilient man, a man who can suffer under pain is a strong man, not the one when a little pain is around and he's shouting to the rooftops. There's a quality man. We shouldn't get this in for anybody. And go and play lottery with people that now NDC is going to find all the canon fodder they've created in videos to come and play it over. NDC is not going to do any serious election when some people are elected by, MPP. You should bear that in mind.
You sound very convincing on Mahamudu Bawumia's disposition, his loyalty to the MPP, his loyalty to the Akufo-Addo government in terms of taking what you describe as some very heavy punches. And things that could even have affected his own credibility, he swallowed it up, just for the sake of the party and the sake of the many.
And the nation. Yes. You remember, you had a very interesting scenario between Aka and Rawlings. You understand? Some insiders were even talking about if they were not careful, they could have blows. So why do you believe Ghanaians should not reward a decent man?
Did he get into the danger of Rawlings and Aka?
Oh, beyond measure.
What are you saying? Rawlings and Aka was about fisticuffs.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Did anything happen around Mahamudu Bawumia when he was vice president?
Oh, a lot of things happened.
Fisticuffs?
Oh, no, it never happened because he had the temperament to be the vice president. He was called to help. If his help was not needed, It wouldn't mean that go and sit in Peace FM and begin to blurt it out that there will be a showdown. A showdown between...
you mean Dr. Bawumia had the diplomacy to stomach difficulties?
Oh, my goodness.
That's the point you're making.
Oh, and he has it more than anybody I've seen in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's no dispute about it. The kind of, issues he's been confronted with and how he stood tall. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, in the midst of all the problems we went through, it was not a zero-rated presidential candidate and garnered 41.7. I think arithmetic alone is common sense to dawn on everybody that let's repeat him, let's work together hard, and then if we should add 9 percentage points to what he got, we will cross the 50+1, and the next president will be him.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Chechia winning Nara, me ding at the baby dapa. Me dear son cocran ebremo. Now the 20 animal with the air Japan me de bremo. And no any summer spices. Summer spices in here. And wow no bebreo. Various flavors. Ubenya a yako. Ubenya nemchi. You do good jollof woman and we get dead. Ubenya ye do quam. You do for yemo. Hot nako pebito. Na Emma with Gianni. And yet dead. When you mean ya, you can your cocoa for eka.
Autant de communication, we all enjoy Uduba, the Samu spices. One in the essence, no time. I'm going to get that yaga. Samu spices in a sandwich, daddy so say. Samu spices, Mun Samu.
Samu spices, Yaba chicken.
Samu spices.
Nsaka in Ketwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors Alpha Bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDIJ Jadien Kratoyatum.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush like Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush.
Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger.
Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
In every school, there is history. In every homecoming, there is pride. But in 2025, pride became competition. From convoys that shook the streets to colors worn with honor. From powerful reunions to legacy projects that will stand forever. Metro TV asked one bold question: which school truly owned the legacy in 2025? Welcome to School's Homecoming 2025. Who is who? Send your school name, convoy videos, speech and prize giving highlights, and your 2025 legacy projects to 0550 090 702. School's Homecoming, my school, my pride. This event is sponsored by Zoom Lion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
Are you weary of land disputes and never-ending legal battles? It's time to claim a legacy that truly belongs to you. Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, where we simplify the journey to home ownership for Ghanaians, whether you are at home or abroad. Located in the Tranke Hills of Ayimensa Damfa, our community offers stunning vistas of the Pediasi Ebri Mountains. Experience peace of mind in our secure, gated community, thoughtfully designed for your comfort amidst beautifully landscaped surroundings and premium recreational spaces. At Rehoboth Social Housing, we are here to turn your dreams into reality. With just 30% deposit, move into one of our ready-to-occupy homes today. We will extend your remaining balance over 5 years, providing the flexibility and assurance your family deserves. Choose from our modern 2-bedroom homes, the luxurious 3-bedroom Sunbay, or our spacious 4-bedroom detached residences. Starting at just 675,000 Ghana cedis, your dream of home ownership is finally within reach. Don't wait any longer. Call us today at +233 55 375 1933 or +44 7917 376631. Rehoboth Social Housing, your housing dream.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debt.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
By the American thing that we do, millennium. I think that all of us, journalists, civil society actors, and practicing lawyers must look at this Ken Ofori-Atta matter from a perspective that takes away the fact that he is in my party or that he's not in my party. As Professor Jampo is saying, those in Ofori-Atta's party are saying something, those outside Ofori-Atta's party are saying something. Now, I'm sad because, and I always like to go back to history. In 1979, Guzi Augustus Tano was one of those young students who championed the revolution. He was one of those who called for the blood to flow at Teshi for military generals who are taking loans of $3,000, etc., etc. 20 years later, 2000, Joseph Anthony Adu, stalwart of the NDC, at the National Theatre, proclaimed that Augustus Guzi Tano had taken money from governments to do a cassava factory that he had blown and that he ought to have been in jail instead of leading a reform party 20 years down the line. So these things are very important. I sat in a trotro in 1993 on the day that Kwesi Botwe had given a budget, 1993. And Kwesi Botwe's budget had increased everything by 60% across board. I was staying in Labadi in those days, so we spoke a lot of Ga. When I sat in the trotro, the mate asked me in Ga, you are the educated people. If I get Kwesi Botwe, I'll kill him. And I said, hey, you kill him? He said, yes. And I said, wow. And that was a sentiment in the trotro as we rode to a place in Labadi, very obscure, called Abo Mikojo Sadi. So I was listening. I just...
You've always been a rich child. You've always been rich. So
if you go there, I live there.
Where lies this trotro?
But you don't know. I lived in Kojo Sadi Abo. Everybody who knows me knows that. Yes. So let's move on. Now, finance ministers have always taken this situation. Dr. Kwesi Botwe was the most hated person in Ghana. In fact, after he left the NDC government, and Jerry Rawlings and the people somehow had to have Kwesi Botwe exiting because of the image of a finance minister who was just delivering very difficult times to Ghanaians. When the MPP came to power in 2017, and maybe Hassan knows, there were many MPP people who wanted the blood of Setekwe because he was the bad one. And it was Kendo Furata who said that he has inherited Setekwe. Yes, the situation was bad, but he really doesn't see how... Just come to me like that. Well. The die is cast. 48 hours to go, and the New Patriotic Party by Saturday evening would have begun the process for the 2028 election. The first candidate on the ballot on the 2028 election will be elected on Saturday by the New Patriotic Party. Whoever is elected will be, all things being equal, God willing, be on the ballot for the New Patriotic Party and for Ghanaians to choose upon in 2028. So what's happening on Saturday is very significant. Tonight, we'll set the tone, perhaps to let you in, perhaps through the crystal ball of who is likely to emerge the winner. At the end of the day, the contest is very, very obvious. Two front runners have emerged. Mahamudu Bawumia, the first front runner, has emerged is the first front runner, and Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong, who came second in the last race, has emerged. So it's beginning to look like a two-horse race, with the dark horse being Dr. Brian Achampong, based on his extensive visibility and the density of his work across the country. Bookmakers are placing him as the dark horse for the race on Saturday, Dr. Brian Achampong. Kwabena Agyapong has been the standard. His standard has been used to measure other candidates, but somehow the pollsters don't give him the vote. They believe that voters have liked to listen to him, they have heard him, and they have liked the things he's saying, but somehow it happens with politics. Some of the votes, or most of the votes, are going elsewhere. Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong has been the long-time maverick. His supporters are saying that Saturday's elections will demonstrate that the results of 2024 may not have been altogether sacrosanct. They believe that something's happened in 2024 that worked against them, and this time round, they think that they have shed off all of that and they are poised for victory. Mahamudu Bawumia supporters are poised to tell people on Saturday, once Bawumia is elected, if Bawumia is elected, or as they would like to say, when Bawumia is elected, they want to tell the supporters that the 2023 victory was not a fluke, and the party has stayed with its conservative base, and they have re-elected their presidential flag bearer who did not win the last election. Osei Aduchum is being a revelation. He has established clearly his control over policy in terms of the development of our young people and the development of our middle-aged people. I'm referring to basic, junior, secondary, and tertiary education. Osei Aduchum has demonstrated in this campaign once again that he is the education avatar and he understands the language. Well, it's all over now, and the die is cast. Tomorrow there is no campaigning. After midnight, it's now 9:29 on the clock here, GMT in Accra. It's the same time in Kumasi and Takoradi. After midnight tonight, the campaign is over. It's all settled. It's all done. No one can change anything. because the campaign is over. On Saturday at 7 o'clock, voters will turn up to vote in, I understand, about 300 voting centers. Everything will be manned by the police. You saw the press conferences. And we are here in the studio to give you more details. Dr. Evans Dua is a pollster, and I was watching him attentively yesterday on City Channel 1's Point of View, hosted by Bernard Avle. I was enjoying the program yesterday as I watched Bernard quiz both Musa Dankwa and Evans Dua. Very, very interesting show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, find time on Saturday morning. Find time to watch it on social media. I'm sure you can see it on Point of View. It was a very good program. Now, tonight, we're going to have Evans Dua back in the studio here to tell us what he found. And when I said I was going to interview Evans Dua, plenty of people have sent me texts on what questions to ask him. So that's a big deal. However, let's go on the touch screen and do two stories before we zoom into the MPP stories. When we get into the MPP, we'll begin with a video that has just been aired across all networks about an hour and a half ago. Kennedy Ohine Japan has done a broadcast to the nation. He's feeling very presidential. He's done a broadcast to the nation ahead of the Delegates Congress, and I'm going to show it to you. We already showed it as part of the general broadcast at 8 o'clock, but it's coming on again. He did it in English and in Twi. We would like to begin, though, with the NDC stories. My friend Fifi Kwete has been making big announcements. Fifi Kwete, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Uncle Fi, how are you? Fifi Kwete has been making big announcements, and I'm excited about it because I've been talking to friends of mine about this announcement that Fifi Kwete made today. And they called me wondering how I knew that Fifi Kwete was going to make that announcement. I didn't know it was going to be in January, but I'm guessing that their PR took the position that the MPP has been covered for the last 3 weeks. And in politics, that's very interesting, and we always used to talk about that. If you have your opponent being covered for the last 3 weeks towards their Congress, you get the people thinking about them. So I guess that the PR decided that Fifi Kwete should hold a press conference today, just so that you can have a balance of NDC conversation, NDC internal democracy, and that kind of thing. So it's a right PR decision. But I'm going to tell you the details of what's Fifi Kwete, the meaning of what he said. Because I have been talking to people that, listen, when 2026 comes, this is what Fifi Kwete and Asiedu Ketia are going to do. And they are doing it against this person, against that person, in favor of this person, in favor of that person. So I'm going to tell you about that. By the way, I got a call this evening. What time was it? I think it was around 4 o'clock, and my phone was ringing. The name on it was Kwesi Pratt. I said, wow. So I picked the call. Kwesi Pratt started by saying, Paul, you are doing this thing again. I said, oh, Ambassador, what have I done? He said, stop calling me Ambassador. And I said, but you and I are ambassadors of the Cuban Revolution. Then we all laughed. Then he said, why did I go on TV, which is here, to come and say that he's the one behind the Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah hospital, airport thing? And I said, oh, Ambassador, I spoke to the people. They said you were behind. He said I should mention their names. I said, but I can't. And then we had a nice conversation. So he's invited me to the Socialist Forum on the 24th of February, where they will be celebrating, I believe, the 60 years of the coup that overthrew Nkrumah. I begged him that I wanted to speak, but he said, no, I can't speak on that forum, and I can understand that. He said, that's their forum, and I'm speaking against, the motion is that the coup was bad. I want to speak in favor of the coup. So he said that I can't speak, but I can come on Alaji and Alaji, which is a great program on Pan-African TV, Kwesi Pratt TV, that I'll be joining sometime on Saturdays to express my right-wing views on a heavy left-wing program. So that's coming up. Okay, that's just a short announcement for you about my conversation with Kwesi Pratt. Let me come back to Fifi Kwete. All right, let's look at the video of what the Honorable General Secretary of the NDC said today at his press conference.
Now, National Executive Committee approved eligibility provisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, pursuant to Article 54 of the party's constitution, the National Executive Committee has approved the following general provisions under Section H of the guidelines for the elections. 1. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the President or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2. Chairpersons or members of boards or persons is in an analogous position are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected. And the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to them. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the 3 categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted. There's no plea in this matter.
Viewers, I'm not a soothsayer and I'm not a prophet, but I can assure you that there's going to be a court case on this one. There's going to be several challenges to this, and eventually there may even be a court case on it. But now let's get into the details. Fifi Kwete says that if you want to be an officer of the party, so that means a polling station, I think they call it ward. The ward officers, constituency officers, regional, so that means regional chairman, regional secretary, regional deputy secretary, and the women's organizer and the youth organizer are going to be in a separate election, but they're also part of it. And then the national. Very interesting. Now, my first take on this matter, viewers, is the exemptions. The exemptions are so interesting. If you look at the personalities that have been exempted, you will see the point I'm making. Now, Fifi Kwete says that ministers, deputy ministers, chief executives, deputy chief executives, and those appointed in analogous positions. That means those appointed in similar positions. So, for instance, executive director. You are not a chief executive and you're not a deputy chief executive. You are an executive director. So, President Mahama appoints, apparently there's one at Ghana Commercial Bank. I think President Mahama has appointed somebody at Ghana Commercial Bank. He's like an executive director, something like that. So, President Mahama appoints an executive director to maybe Agric Development Bank, where there's already an MD and a deputy MD. That person is in an analogous position. So that's just an example. Okay. Now, I'm tempted to go to the exemptions, but let me now go to those that have obviously been affected by this decision. Fifi Kwete is not affected. So George Opariado. Now, what it means is that if George Opariado, who is the national youth organizer of the party, he won an election, he was elected the national youth organizer of the party, coming into office, President Mahama has given him an appointment. He is the Minister for Employment and Manpower and all of that. Youth employment, manpower, something, quite a nice portfolio. That's George Opariado. George Opariado continues to be the national youth organizer of the party today. His tenure is ending this year. Now, George Opariado has come into this position because he had been working with the youth during the campaign. So President Mahama has put him into this position so that the youth will find expression in government. The youth that George Opariado worked with, they will find expression in government through George Opariado's portfolio, which is concerning the youth. Now, George Opariado cannot continue to be a minister after May 2026 if he wants to continue as national youth organizer. I'm sure George Oparado, who has only done, I think he's done 1 term in the position. I stand to be corrected. I think it's 1 term. George Oparado, who's done 1 term in the position, now he wants to do another term. Fifi Kwete's rules, which is now the National Executive rules, says that Oparado must resign from the thing in May so that he can contest in November. If he wins, he remains there. He doesn't become a minister anymore. Wow. This is going to be interesting. So Oparado, gone. I can't see in Ghanaian politics how Oparado will say, I'm resigning from minister to go and run for party when the party is in government. The party is in government. So why is he going to? I mean, the government is more important than being in the party. All the party's efforts was so that they will be in government. Now they are in government, he's part of government, he should leave the government and go and do the party that is in government. How? Nobody will do that. So Oparado, down, out. He's not going to become, he's either going to leave the ministry to continue as National Youth Organizer to win another election, which I think he won't do. He'll be there. So he's no longer going to be the NDC's. All the experience he has, he keeps it in government. Another person becomes a National Youth Organizer to control the party. I'll tell you more about this. Oparado, down, out. Sammy Jemfi, in fact, he has already said that he doesn't want to run as PR for the party anymore. He's already said it. As soon as the party won elections, he said, I'm not interested. I'm going to sell gold. It's better. I'm not interested in this party thing. I'm shouting then, Paul, I don't want you to be mentioning my name. Then they are calling me on Newsfile, and I just want gold and do my work. Please, I want peace of mind. I'm tired of this KK every day. My phone is ringing. Every time they are calling me from a table, but all radio stations have access to my phone. My WhatsApp doesn't sleep. Now I'm selling gold. I did all that so that we come to power. We are in power. President Mahama has given me a very important responsibility to protect the city. That is what I want to do. Party. Bye-bye. Okay, so he's gone. So not much to say about him. He's gone. He says he's not interested anymore. He's gone. All right. This is the big one. Malik Basintale. He has to leave the work. Fifi Kwete said he should leave that place and wait. 6 clear months. 6 months. A whole 6 months. Get out of the place. 6 months. Come and run he's a Deputy National Communications Officer. Yes. He's a Deputy National Communications Officer. So he's Sammy Jemfi's deputy. But Santale has not even done a quarter of what he wants to do in the party level. He has not done much. He was just exposed by election 2024 and railroaded into this position, and he was coming on Good Morning Ghana. He hasn't even paid Metro TV the dues that he has to pay because Basintale was discovered on Metro TV. Without Metro TV, nobody knew Basintale. It is Metro TV, Good Morning Ghana. He has still not come to pay anything. If you see him telling that, I'm saying that the management of Metro TV is waiting for him. Since that we have made him minister, he should come and do something for us. Anyway, so that's Malik Basintale. He's a CEO of YE. Basintale has to leave. He has to leave the office and then become party. That's going to be a critical decision. How is President Mahama going to relate to this decision? I'll tell you that in a minute. So Basintale, trouble. Next. This one is part of my other analysis. So let me jump it and come back. Let's see who is there. This one too is part of my other analysis. Let me jump it and come back. Mustafa Gbande kept saying on Joy FM this evening that when they hadn't asked him any question, well, they had asked him a question, but it wasn't related. He said, he used the phrase about 3 or 4 times in 2 minutes. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the party. Do you know why he was saying that? Because this is indeed about him. It is about him. All this is about, he wants to run for General Secretary against Fifi Kwete. So this is about him, Mustafa Gbande. He's currently the Deputy General Secretary. He wants to become General Secretary. Fifi Kwete wants to maintain his position as General Secretary. Basintale, my friend Mustafa Gbande, wants to be the General Secretary. He has to be kicked out of that Jubilee House because he's Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House. He's Deputy Director of Operations. His portfolio is quite important and quite serious. He does all kinds of things. He manages the party, the Kwetia by-election. It was he who managed it straight from Jubilee House. So all of this is about him. Number one, critical is about him. First, he started the campaign to remove Fifi Kwete. Fifi Kwete says, you want to remove me? Remove yourself from Jubilee House for 6 months and see whether you get 1 vote. That's the matter. There's no other matter. That's the matter. So when you heard Mustafa Gbande on Joy FM repeating, this is not about me. It is about him. It's about him. It's part of it. So that's a very complicated one. Does he want to remain Deputy General Secretary? Does he want to become General Secretary? He has to leave the Jubilee House. 6 months. Fifi Kwete is a very brutal guy. Okay. Ofusan Pofu is here. So now, let me go to the other side of the story. Okay, so this is the other story. The reason why the exemptions are there. And the reason why Fifi Kwete had to explain the exemptions is because he knows that as part of the exemptions, some people may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Some people may think so. They may think that there's a dishonesty in the equation. Because you say that minister is affected, deputy minister is affected. Now, why are these rules set up? These rules are set up because you want to have a level playing field. You want everybody to stand at the same level. You want people's talent and ambition and vision for the party to be evaluated devoid of what position they hold in government. Because when you hold a position in government, it can cloud the idea, the vision of the delegates. You may have better access to resources because every candidate must have resources. Every candidate must raise some resources. That's fundamental to democracy and politics. You must raise resources, okay? So if you can't raise resources, you cannot be a candidate. Now, the raising of resources is also part of the skill that is being assessed by delegates. So if a person is a minister, he may not even need to raise the resources as a credible candidate. He can cajole it. You can cajole the resources using your power in the government. So that's the real reason. Now, if you are talking about resources in terms of who can get resources, and therefore we don't want those who cannot get resources, those who can get resources to compete with those who cannot get resources. If really that's your concern, this man is the chairman of the board of one of the biggest banks in Ghana, the Ghana Commercial Bank. This is the chairman of the board. Joshua Alabi, former presidential candidate. He may want to be presidential candidate again. He may want to be party chairman. He may want to be something. But he is exempted. Fifi Kwete and Asiedu Nketia. I'll come to Asiedu Nketia. You give me Alabi. Fifi Kwete and Asiedu Nketia have sat down together, two clever men, and they have developed this scenario. And they have excluded people. And I'm coming to tell you the main person why they are doing this. Joshua Alabi is chairman of the board of the Ghana Commercial Bank. Ghana Commercial Bank is the biggest bank. The chairman of the board is such an important decision maker. His influence in the government is bigger than plenty deputy ministers. His influence could be bigger than many ministers. Ghana Commercial Bank is a multi-million-dollar bank listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, so important to the Ministry of Finance. Fifi Kwete says that a man can be board chairman of Ghana Commercial Bank and compete with me, who is in Labadi, Ladade Kotopon, or Kojo Sadi, Lajoae, or Teate. I mentioned the Labadi areas of the constituency for you. The market area is called Lajoae, and then you have Teate, which is in the middle there. Labadi, so if I'm from Labadi, I'm from Teate, near Wizards Park. I'm an NDC man. Everybody knows me in the area. They call me Slow. That's my name. Slow. Everywhere I go, Slow. But I don't have money. But I have influence. And I want to be the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party. And Joshua Alabi too wants to be the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party. Fifi Kwete is telling me that if Joshua Alabi is a minister, he should step down 6 months before. If Joshua Alabi is a deputy minister, he should step down 6 months before. If Joshua Alabi is a chief executive of Ghana Exim Bank, like Sylvester Mensah, and I'm bringing Sylvester Mensah in because I'm talking about Labadi, like Sylvester Mensah, he should step down. But chairman of the board should not step down. Huh? What is this? What's he talking about? What is Fifi Kwete talking about? The chairman of GCB should not step down. Chairman of GMPC, he can continue. Chairman of Cocoa Board, he can continue. Okay, let me give you an interesting scenario. So Sylvester Mensah is the chief executive of Exim. He has a board chairman. Assuming that Sylvester Mensah wants to be Greater Accra Regional Chairman of NDC, and his board chairman too wants to be Greater Accra Chairman of NDC, the point Fifi Kwete is making is that Sylvester Mensah will have to step down, but the board chairman continues. Viewers, can you think of something like that? I'm chief executive. You are board chairman. We are all Exim Bank. We all want to be Greater Accra Regional Chairman. Me, chief executive, step down. Board chairman, remain. How lopsided. And do you know why? It is because of Johnson Asiedu Nketia. This whole matter is to protect Asiedu Nketia. He is chairman of GAPOA, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. The chairman therein is more influential than many ministers. But he gets to keep his position. This is the problem with our democracy. The democracy that is founded on intelligent men sitting together and cooking something for themselves. Intelligent men. They sit together, they cook something for themselves. Asedu Ketia is board chairman of Gapoha. Board chairman, Gapoha. He can keep his position. He should keep it. And come guide himself to the chairmanship again. And then from there, he'll guide himself to the presidency. You are minister, get down. You are deputy minister, resign. You are chief executive, resign. You are deputy chief executive, resign. But Asedu Ketia, chairman of Gapoha, protected. This is the politics. This is the kind of politics, I can assure you, with the democracy that we have, this fifth equity and NEC decision is going into a challenge. It's going to be massively challenged. But how can chairman of Gapoha remain? So chairman of GMPC remain. Chairman of GOIL remain. There are those board chairmen who are more influential than ministers. Board chairman. Cocoa board chairman is very influential. Gapoha board chairman is hugely influential. GCB board chairman is very, very influential. A few others. Did I mention GMPC already? Yeah. National Petroleum Authority board chairman. If you are going into a contest, in a parliamentary contest, for instance, if you want to be a parliamentary candidate for the NDC, or you want to be a regional somebody, or you want to be a national somebody, and you are competing with the chairman of MPA, oh, forget it. MPA, he has all the petrol stations under control. He can call a petrol station that, look, I'm going to campaign at Tebubu. Charlie will say, oh, chairman, how are you? Say, I'm going to Tebubu. Charlie, you have to help your chairman. They will help the chairman. Me, who is from Ladade Kotopon or from Teshi, I can't call anybody. They won't help me. Somebody is chairman of MPA. You say he should remain chairman of MPA to fight the battle. Asedu Ketia is chairman of Gapoha. Huge. Gapoha. He wants to keep his chairmanship, dancing around it. He will be doing his chairmanship. Gapoha is so important to the economy. Gapoha is one of the backbones of Ghana's economy. The Minister of Finance and the Minister of Transport, they are probably talking to Gapoha every day on a daily basis. They talk to Gapoha. And he's chairman over there. He's chairman. He's controlling all the ports and harbor, Takrade Port and Tema Port. Together, they are a multi-trillion-dollar company. Asedu Ketia is chairman. And the fifth equities rules say that Asedu Ketia will remain chairman. If you are a minister, you have to go. Asedu Ketia there, he will be there. Oh my goodness, this is going to be very interesting over the weeks. I won't say much. We'll get there. Just to show you that there's a lot of conversation to be had about this. Mustafa, how are you, my brother? You promised that after some time, but how are you doing? Okay. All right. That's Mustafa Gbande. He's my friend. When you see him, ask him. He'll tell you how he's my friend. We made friends in Asin North. Was it Asin South we went to? The by-election. Yeah, that's where we had a whole long chat throughout the night. At the time, he was telling me that they will win the election and they will win 2024 and we will see. That's what he told me. So that's Mustafa Gbande. But viewers, I hope you are getting what I'm saying. I mean, you can call me Diufiasem. That is not my matter. Yeah, I will accept that. But this is democracy and this is politics, and we have to be interested. If you are making the rules, make the rules so that no one feels that these rules have been made in favor of somebody. These rules, announced by Fifi Kwete today, was made in favor of Johnson Asedu Ketia. Let me close with Fifi Kwete's voice again on the announcement he made, and then we'll get into the MPP story. But this story, we'll come back to it. It's an NDC story. We'll come back to it. After Saturday, we'll come back to it. But this Fifi Kwete, I have to commend him, though. He spoke very well. Fifi Kwete.
Now, National Executive Committee approved eligibility provisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, pursuant to Article 54 of the party's constitution, the National Executive Committee has approved the following general provisions under Section H of the guidelines for the elections. 1. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2. Chairpersons or members of boards or persons is in an analogous position are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected. And the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers; C, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. So those are the three main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers; C, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the three categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted. There's no plea in this matter.
People are sending me texts about the thing. So let me read a few. More. Paul, were you just trying to dodge it? It is about Julius Deborah, can't you see? It's because Julius Deborah is chief of staff, and Asiedu Ketia has heard that Julius wants to run as president. He wants to disenfranchise Julius Deborah. It's all about Julius Deborah. Or you are just doing a reverse. Okay. I don't know what it's about Julius Deborah. No, I like people's interest in the commentary. And viewers, thank you very much for showing such tremendous interest in the commentary. Because sometimes when we carry out such commentaries, people think that it's just mischief. But it's really analyzing and bringing the democracy to the table so we can all have a conversation. How does NDC ban ministers, ban deputy ministers, but keep the chairman of GAPOHA, keep the chairman of Ghana Commercial Bank permitted to be chairman of GAPOHA and also run as national chairman of the party? That's really unfair, isn't it? Let's go to the text messages at 3 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock, and see what people are saying. Shall I start with Anzaba?
Thank you very much, Paul. We take our first message from Junior Agba from Tamale. He says, in fact, in the coming days, NDC is going to be sweet because I believe that they will bite each other more than what NPP is doing now. But to be frank, I don't have any interest about what NDC is doing. My interest is to see Dr. Bawumia as our flag bearer again, and I pray that he will be our next president come January 2029. It is possible. Al-Basit says, I thank Allah in advance for the victory of Dr. Bawumia and our next president of Ghana. God's Way Salom says, I pity my motherland in this coming month. All government appointees are going to resign for new appointments. Wow, setting is not setting. Abubakar Possible says, what is good for the goose is not good for the gander in these 30s. And lastly, coming from Junior Agba from Tamale, he says, 2 days more for us to congratulate our next president of the Republic of Ghana, DMB. No change. We believe in him. He is the best amongst the rest. DMB all the way to victory. Over to you, Fatima.
All right. Thank you, Ansaba. So this is what Nana Jesse has to say. He says Fifi has an agenda against the Mahama boys. We'll be here for all the drama. Let the game begin. Theophilus in Kansas says Fifi hates Sami Jamfi and the Mahama boys. God's Way Salom also says, I pity my motherland in this coming months. All government appointees going to resign for new appointments while resetting is not certain. Florinda says, maybe because board chairman will show up for meetings, but CEO goes to work every day. Al-Basit says, I thank Allah in advance for the victory of Dr. Bawumia. Pedro Karoma says, Paul is very smart on this issue. Shadrach says, You've been talking about Honorable Fifi coming out to announce this. This is going to bring confusion in the NDC party. It's too early as most of the appointees are doing well. This is a shock. It's either you keep your appointment or you stand to be elected. Yafobi says the NDC directive for appointees to resign 6 months before filing a nomination forms to contest executive positions is the imitation of the NPP amended constitution for government appointees. Resign 1 year before filing nomination forms to contest MP and other positions in the NPP. This directive is to give way for government appointees to focus on government business and party executives to also stick to party issues, to collaborate, give fair and unbiased play to the ordinary party member seeking party position. We thank the NDC for following the footsteps of the NPP in decisions to strengthen party democracy. And lastly, coming from Atta Desai, says as a delegate, Bawumia is what I'm going for. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, welcome back to the show. It's 10 o'clock now. Tonight, we have a big show coming up. At 8 o'clock this evening, the campaign team of Kennedy Ohene Japan put up a video of him broadcasting to the nation. In this recorded televised address, Kennedy Japan appears to be speaking to delegates. He's asking delegates for their vote, and he's promising delegates that their welfare will be paramount as far as he's concerned. He appeared to have reiterated the position of jobs, etc. The broadcast was in both Akan and English. The English one, we timed it, it comes up to about nearly 6 minutes on the clock, and the Akan one, we timed it, comes to nearly about 3 minutes. Here is a presentation of both. After that, we get into the groove, into the MPP election. It's less than 48 hours to go. Who is likely to win? Here's Kennedy Japan's broadcast.
Dear delegates, let me begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to each of you for the warm reception you extended to me during my visit to your various constituencies. I deeply appreciate the hospitality, openness, and engagement you showed throughout my time with you. On Saturday, you will not merely elect a flag bearer, you will determine the direction of our party. You will send a message to the nation. You will decide whether the new patriotic party is ready to rebuild. Let us speak honestly. Our party has played a historic role in Ghana's development. We have expanded opportunity, strengthened private enterprises, widened access to education, and modernized governance. Our record is unmatched. But in the last election, we suffered a painful setback, and that defeat was not accidental. It was a message. It was a message that we must reconnect with the grassroots. A message that disciplines and humility must return to the leadership. A message that change is not optional. It is urgent. This Saturday is not routine. It is a turning point. Delegates, you are the backbone of this party. Without you, there is no MPP. Yet too often, after elections, the grassroots feel forgotten. Polling station executives feel neglected. Constituency officers unsupported. That must change. And I say it must change. Under my leadership, delegates' welfare will not be an afterthought. It will be a priority. The cycle of sacrifice followed silence must end. I will establish structured delegate welfare framework. We will maintain a formal registry of active delegates to ensure recognition and inclusion. We will create a transparent welfare support to assist delegates facing genuine hardships. Loyalty must be respected. Sacrifice must be acknowledged. Commitment must be protected. Delegates' welfare will not depend on proximity to power. It will be institutionalized, fair structured, and transparent. The forms I have been sharing during my talks are not symbolic gestures. They are the beginning of a system that ensures no loyal delegates feels left out again. Let me also add, I'm aware that some of you delegates have been told that if you vote for me, you will be removed from the delegates album or punished afterwards. I bet you it can never happen. Trust me and believe in me that all of you will be protected the D-Day. The delegate album is not a weapon. It is a constitutional record of party service. It must never be used to intimidate loyal members of this party. I do not believe in fear. I do not believe in revenge politics. I will not tolerate any attempt to shrink the party by threatening its grassroots. Be rest assured of this. The MPP was built on courage. MPP was built on internal democracy. So I say to you, stand firm. Canada, Japan, I stand for industrialization. It's industry, industry, industry. Employment, employment, employment. Jobs, jobs, jobs. What we need in this country is employment for the youth of this country. So please, give me opportunity to serve you, and I will not disappoint you. Let me assure you of something else. Every delegate will be safe. Every delegate will be protected before, during, and after the election. There must be no harassment, no intimidation at voting centers, no atmosphere of fear. Internal democracy must never become internal conflict. We will work with party structures and the appropriate authorities to ensure that Saturday is peaceful, orderly, and credible. Your safety matters, your dignity matters, your right to vote freely matters. But beyond the vote, we must think about what happens after the January 31st. This is a contest, not a war. After that day, we are not factions. We are one party. The party cannot afford division. We cannot afford bitterness. We cannot afford revenge politics. Our true task is not defeating one another. Our true task is rebuilding trust with the Ghanaian people. Dear delegates, I'm appealing to you to vote for me on Saturday. What I want to remind you is we are not just going to elect a flag bearer, but a winnable candidate who can give us a victory in 2028. And there's no other candidate than Canada, Japan. So victory will be ours in 2028 if you decide on Canada, Japan on Saturday. A candidate that is trusted, inspires hope, accepted, and capable of winning the MPP power in 2028. And I can Ohene Japan, #1, on the ballot remains the only viable candidate to do this. Thank you. MPP adehye esi ahene ne etu ahenefo me mamu nyina achi enye bone enne ebise memenda ye koto aba timedi azisredi etu monim se onye madom na memenda onto aba ma Canada, Japan munya gidie wo mu ebise nsem a me no aka nyina no abra me besra mo no me ba mediso amoamu nim se me ka me yo me hia film ho ne mpaibo se me ti ase nko na me ye president me make sure say ma hwe party if say edidigya hoi eni muna ne nam Debia some party as some party. A drew maybe na party no to me wo now coupe bibia. Unua on any year juma nyame na dum onya position. O pa osiko ofesi kabra ko yese. Me pese motim ho ase na munya gidie se Kennedy Japan de. Me ba me nye nyimu me ma obi a nkoton adwuma emfa mani no. Nti munyime ni na ewiase onipa bia wani munyam ani wadwuma. Party ma enya adwuma nye. Party ma eni sika. Party ma edi yawo. Nti party for misremu. Munya madom memenda ebe. Muntu abama. Na me make sure so say obia obekọ no yebebọ no ho ban a obia ntimi mfa ehunhuna emanen ensan so nkoto aba ebiem obia obeka kire so obeyi udin afiri mu no na ompe party ni yi ebize obia woti politics ase ope party ni yi a onka hu se oyi wu firi mu a wayi wu mafiri mu wayi wu abusuafo afiri mu wayi wu namfofo afiri mu general election yekoto aba se nipa we nyina no ebeto aba atia ti munyan awireshem se Kennedy Japan de onye nyiyimu oba se wo pemasemu so pemasemu e party baako e tumi ne yepe enti mun nyamadom na memenda mun koto aba no mame e bi se ba bi a nam bia Ghana force mo de Kennedy Japan ba de a ebeto aba mo ti se tumi ne yepe de a party ma munya madom na menim sɛ emrepa mu no nyankopɔn ebe kasa ewo memenda ema obi ahu nti munya kroye ehia kroye ewo party dem eno ne ade a ehia yesese we sise Matthew Makaran ema MPP party nkoso ye pe kroye nso de a ye ma perperio enya dwuma saa election a ye koi perperio enye adwuma na sɛ yɛ adwuma a MPP ebedi nkonyim enye me Kennedy Japan ɛna mti nkonyim a na medi nkonyim die no ɛba ɛyɛ for MPP nyina ti mesrem monye madom na memenda monto aba no number 1 ukɔ hɔ a ensi utrase wo de hwɛ soro hɔ a number 1 nyame nhyira mo nyina
That was the video released earlier today by the Kennedy Japan campaign team, the final wrap-up of what is the NPP campaign period for 2025-2026, culminating in a big vote on Saturday across the country. I understand it's happening in 33 centers, 333 centers also across the country. That's where the votes will be taking place. Okay, I see quite a bit of interest in the Kennedy Japan video. To be or not to be? Let's begin with you, Fatih. What are people saying about it?
All right. Thank you, Paul. So, coming from Samuel Ofosuba, he says NPP delegates, never put your loyalty and trust in a traitor. Know this prayer by Robert Greene. Lord, protect me from my friend. I will care for my enemies. Leader who is emotionally immature isn't worthy to follow such, can't be trusted. Junior Akbar Tamle says, Honorable Ken, we are not ready to take you as our flag bearer. Never. NPP, we are on the right track and we can never make such a mistake. Coming from Cornelius, he says, how many party members have you employed in your factory? And lastly, Atadi says, why is NDC always supporting Kennedy? I don't understand. NDC members in my town are always supporting Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Fatih. Coming from Chris Boydo, he says, Ken is reading a prepared script. This is not from his heart. Laughing out loud, Ken is an extempore speaker. From Bra Awari, he says, he feels like Ken is a threat to our democracy. And lastly, coming from our former radio and TV, he says, the Lord will speak on Saturday for both the MPP and for Ghana as large. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you. You know, I put these photographs here because there's a saying that the account people say the Onyame Ashira no. The Onyame Ashira no. You can't take the blessing from him. You see, Kwame Dubois here. This guy, God has blessed him. Do you hear what happened at the Supreme Court today? That's the Srem side. I don't know whether he took the 3. When I did a story on Srem side and said that he took the 2 policemen, people saw me in town and said, hey, Mr. Paul, it's 3. It's not 2. It's 3 policemen, 2 women and 1 man. You didn't see the 1 man. It was in your video. You see this democracy, eh? It's very, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Yes, 3 military people. That's the point I was making about him. That he said Godfrey Dame had soldier. 1. He has 2. Somebody, not 1 person. And these are, when I look at the way they are talking, the NDC people. You know, when you're in traffic and you see NDC people, you can see. And let me show you how you see. Those that you see who complain about something in the government, anything, and they complain with a lot of enthusiasm and almost anger, they're NDC people. As for MPP people, it's what you concern Musa. We told you, you didn't listen, so you voted. Waiting concern Musa. We are there 4 years, 8 years, 13 years, 15 years. Waiting concern Musa. So when the way they complain, I know that the NDC people. He said, Mr. Paul, the thing you said, it's not 2. He had forgotten his name. The Deputy Attorney General, Sai him. It's not 2, it's 3. 2 soldiers, 2 women, 1 man, 3. Only him, 3. You spoke well, Pa. You spoke well. And I say, okay. Then John, who is driving me, you know John. John will signal me that no so frail. And I said, okay, roll down. I said, Mr. Paul, Sai has 3 soldiers. I said, okay. So please, your party people are not happy, Mr. Srem Sai, or Justice Srem Sai, or His Lordship Srem Sai. Your party people are not happy. They say that you are abusing the victory that they won because Godfrey Dame had 1 soldier. You have 3. Reset is 3. Bad set is 1 soldier. Reset is 3 soldiers for you, Srem Sai. Oh, public official, you take 3. Me, I was a soldier in the barracks. So when I see soldiers, it pains me. What made me happy small was that the soldiers were from military police. But when you see recce soldier, signal soldier, 5BN soldier, supply engineers, then they are following politicians. What's that? Military police, that's their work. Military police has their work. So the only thing that is only small things that is military police. But again, military police is high profile. President, vice president. That's military police. The high profile dignitary, Chief Obasanjo is coming to Ghana. Military police. Then you, Deputy Attorney General, you hold 3 military police. 3, not 1. The military police have a very special kind of training. They are an elite group. You know Major Kwashigan, those of you who are old, you heard the name. He was military police. It's an elite group in the army. Military police, 64, recce. These are elite groups in the army. You go and take soldiers from the elite group in the army. 3 of them, they should follow you, Srem Sai, 1 man, Deputy Attorney General. Hey, reset. 17 minutes past 10 o'clock. Kwame Dubois here. God has blessed him. They went to the Supreme Court. The case that NDC did many years ago, to the Akufo-Addo time, and NDC won the case. It was an accused person who wanted documents to be available to him. NDC won. Atachian stood on it to support Kwabena Dubois' defense of himself with some of these things. Deputy Attorney General said, no. He said, no. He's going to seek a review of the Supreme Court decision, which at the time it was given was in favor of NDC. He is going to change it. The thing that was in his favor, he wants to change it. He went to Supreme Court, flat, 6-1, defeated. The court said, Atta is right, Kwabena Dubois, go and do your case. So that's why I said that when God has blessed you, they will say, they will talk, they will shout, they will do this. Srem Sai has lost a 6-1 decision of the Supreme Court. 6-1. The only person that helped him was Justice Kulendi. Only Yoni Kulendi helped him. Only Yoni Kulendi gave him, supported his view. He has fallen flat, 6-1 at the Supreme Court. Atta, how are you? Okay. This matter, we'll come to it on Tuesday. I just wanted to hint small because on Tuesday we're going to read the judgment in great detail. Pandai rerun case. Okay, the Supreme Court also ruled that the Pandai rerun case ought not to happen and that there will be no rerun for now. The NDC lawyers have said they will appeal. That means they will seek a Supreme Court review and then we'll know what the court says. But for now, the court has decided that there should be no rerun. Amen. Amen. So, Saturday, big deal. Mahamudu Bawumia comes into a contest with... Do you have the candidates? Can you give me the candidates' photograph so that I don't know whether I can find it very quickly because it wasn't really part of our package, but they don't have it. Okay, I can understand. All right. So, I don't know why that starts with maybe alphabetical order, but yes, alphabetical order, stars. That's very clever, Preku. Alphabetical order. All right. Mahamadou Bawumia and Kennedy Agyapong, alongside two others, Osei Yaweduchu. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So these are my beautiful candidates, yeah? This is put there in the order in which they appear on the ballot. Kennedy Ohene Agyapong is first on the ballot. Brian Achampong from Presec, second. So these are Disco, this is Presec, this is Tamasco. Osei Yaweduchu, I can't remember. And he'll be very happy that I can't remember. He'll tell me that, you see, you couldn't because I was in Jati Pram, so you couldn't remember. And this is Kwabena Agyapong from Infantsipim. Hey, Charlie, it's not bad. It's a very serious grand final of the science quiz. Oh. This is Addis Adel. This is Presec. Who must win? Presec must win. This is Tamale Secondary School. This is Kwaboche Infantsipim. Hey. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But these are the candidates. Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, always the maverick candidate out of the many. He's taking another claim. The last time he came a very strong second. Kennedy Ohene Agyapong began to show in the MPP race when at the end of the super delegates voting in 2023, when it was expected that the results will be Mahamadou Bawumia, Alan Kyerematen, and then the rest. Suddenly, somehow, from nowhere, Kennedy Agyapong came in a straight second position. Kumasi High School, Osei Yaweduchu, Kumasi High School. Very good. Thank you very much. Kumasi High School. Because I associate him with Jati Pram, so he likes talking about that, so I forgot. It's called Kumasi High School is where he's coming from. I know where Kumasi High School is. Very good school. It's near TI Ahmadiyya. They are very good in sports as well. But Osei Yaweduchu has shown that they can produce great brains. Kumasi High, salute. Okay, so Kennedy then became he came second. And everybody said, that day the conversation was not about the fact that Bawumia had won. Oh. The conversation was that Alan came third. Hey! That was the conversation among all of us in newsrooms. I was calling somebody was calling me that, Charlie, it looks like they say Alan is going to be third. Oh. That was what, we knew Bawumia was going to win, really. But everyone thought Alan was going to be second. Then Kennedy Agyapong came second. Then Alan left the stage and Kennedy continued and he came second again in the main election against Mahamadou Bawumia, who came up with a very comfortable 60%. Of course, the rest, as they say, is history. We are where we are. 2 days from now, Saturday, big deal. All of these candidates are staking their claim to the MPP leadership. At the end of the campaign, the thing seems to have zeroed in onto Mahamadou Bawumia and Kennedy Agyapong as sort of the two pop-up front runners. The dark horse, obvious dark horse, is Brian Achampong, as I said before, because of the density of his work and the sheer spread of his message and his campaign. He's gone to every constituency. Sometimes some of them he's been there twice. He's the one, I think, who has dealt with the delegates the most in this campaign. He has demonstrated huge resources and he has demonstrated ability to move. He actually even went to Boku and all that. So Brian Achampong, on account of that, has always been looked at as a dark horse. What I like us to do now, viewers, is to go back to the results of 2023. And in 2023's results, I'm just isolating Kennedy Agyapong and Mahamadou Bawumia because one of these men will be the MPP's flag bearer by Saturday, 6 p.m. Nothing is going to change that. That one I can prophesy. I can challenge Elben. I can challenge any prophet in the world that on Saturday, one of these men will be the MPP's flag bearer. That one I can prophesy. You can bring Psalms, Proverbs, Jehoshaphat, Luke. You can bring James, Joshua, Isaiah. I will prophesy against all of them. That Saturday, one of these men would be the MPP flag bearer. For that reason, we have isolated the results of these two men from the last election. And we're going to share with you right now so that you can also, keep it at the back of your mind as we go into Saturday. Okay. So in Ahafo region, the last time, out of the delegates, which were about a little over 3,000, 4,000 something, Ken Ohene Agyapong got, and viewers, I'm doing the raw scores, okay? I'm not doing the percentages, but that we know already. Every newsroom sort of had that. So we know the percentages. But what I'm going to do is the raw scores because the electoral roll is about the same. Those who elected these two men are those who are electing on Saturday. A few have been added, not significant. Not more than 10% has been added. It's still the same electoral college. And this is how they voted. So we're going to see whether they are voting differently now, or they may vote the same way, or they'll vote completely another way. Well, the options for them is that one of these men will lead. The other conversation is that, will the contest go into a second round? It goes into a second round where no candidate is able to obtain 50% plus one of the votes. In that case, the two leading candidates will go into a second round of voting on the, I think, 14th of February. Yes, on Valentine's Day. On 14th of February, the second election will occur. If at the close of the count on Saturday, no candidate is able to obtain more than 50% plus one of the votes. So let's go on. All right. Kennedy Ohina Japan, in the Ahafo region of an odd something like 3,900 delegates votes available, collected 1,040. Mahamadou Bawumia collected 2,985. So that's Ahafo region. What should happen this time? And that's where that's analysis we're doing. We look at it and we say what should happen this time. For Mahamadou Bawumia to win the national contest on Saturday, he must maintain his control of the Ahafo region. He won Ahafo region by a difference of more than 1,000 votes. Mahamadou Bawumia must maintain that. He must maintain that to be able to cross over the 50. And his supporters believe that that is quite maintainable. So that's the Ahafo region. If Kennedy Japan wants to win, then he must be improving on what he got in the Ahafo region. So when results start coming, look at the Ahafo region. If you see that Kennedy Japan is getting more than 1,040, because the electoral roll is the same. If you see that Kennedy is getting more than 1,040 in Ahafo region, please call me. Enter on our Facebook page. Good evening, official. Say, good evening, official. Ahafo Askamo, Kennedy is getting more than 1,040. And then we know where the thing is going. Or, come on, good evening, Ghana. Say, good evening, Ghana. Ahafo Askam. Dr. Bawumia got more than 2,900. Then we know what is happening. So, but if Dr. Bawumia maintains this, maintains the gap that he has obtained over Kennedy in the Ahafo region, it means that things are beginning to look equal as we go into the other regions. So all things are equal. That means it was the same as 2023. Of course, Bawumia will be elected. Otherwise, we have to wait to see what happens. Ashanti region, big deal, real big deal. Ashanti region. Ashanti region is not just about being second highest number of registered voters. It is the soul and the heart of the MPP. No one wins MPP nomination without having a dominant effect in Ashanti region. That's the heart and soul of the party. So we're going to see what happens in Ashanti on Saturday. The last time, out of about 35,000 votes, Dr. Bawumia got 22,205. 22,205. Kennedy Japan got about half of that, 11,390. Kennedy Japan got 11,390. Dr. Bawumia in Ashanti got 22,205. So this is a big deal. Viewers, if on Saturday results start coming and you hear Ashanti region is being counted, Andy will tell me by 2 o'clock what happened in Ashanti region. So I will know. As soon as I know, I'll put it on the Facebook page. Don't worry, I'll be in touch with Andy in Ashanti. I'll be in touch with Kofi Mensah in Takrade. He's there for us. We have people everywhere. So as soon as I hear the results, I'll just put it on the Facebook page. So if you go on the page and you see that in Ashanti, Kennedy Japan is doing more than 11,000, then we know where things are going. If you see that Dr. Bawumia is doing 22,000 and more, then we know where things are going. If you see that the gap between them is X and Y, it helps you to interpret the results that are about to come. So that's Ashanti, going to be very important. Bono region. In Bono region, out of the about 5,000 votes available, Mahamadou Bawumia picked up 3,977, whereas Kennedy Japan did 2,326 in Bono region. That's what happened. So, and I'm saying this on the back of the conversation we'll be having with Dr. Evans Dua. We'll be putting some of these questions to him for him to tell us from his predictions where are things standing. Evans has already predicted that Bawumia will win. Of course, we know has predicted that Ken will win. Musa Dankwa says Bawumia will win. And the gentleman we hosted, the API people here on Tuesday in this studio, said that Bawumia was going to win. They are also postless. So it's time for Evans Dua. I'll be talking to him soon. So Bono region, Bawumia is getting 3,977. And Kennedy is getting 2,326. Let's look at the next region. Okay, Bono East region is the next one. It's a big win for Bawumia over there in 2023. So he gets 5,434, and Kennedy Japan gets 1,548. Kennedy gets, I like that, thank you. Kennedy gets 1,548. Mahamadou Bawumia is getting 5,434 votes in Bono region. Central region. Central region was won by Kennedy. It's thought to be one of his strongholds. Okay. So in Central region, Kennedy Japan, surprisingly, I have to add that, surprisingly in 2023, comes up with 10,828 votes, and Mahamadou Bawumia is doing 6,159. Kennedy won Central region. So Central region is going to be a very good place to observe, viewers, isn't it? It's going to be a very good place to observe. If the results start coming, and you find that Kennedy is doing more than 10,000 in Central region, you should know that he's improving his lot. If, however, Mahamadou Bawumia is doing more than 6,000 in Central region at the end of the vote, it means that he has improved his lot. We'll see what happens as we go. Let me run through this. Eastern region, another very important spot. It's another hotbed of the MPP's tradition. Eastern region has always been a big MPP stronghold. Eastern and Ashanti regions in 2008 were the only two regions that Akufo-Addo won. And with that, he had won the election and was leading Professor Mills by 100,000. So Eastern region is also very, very important for the MPP. In there, during the last election, Mahamadou Bawumia picked up 13,387 votes, and Kennedy Japan got 6,794 votes for Eastern region. Let's see what happens this time. Remember that Brian Achampong has claimed Eastern region as his own, and he says that he's going to win there. So let's see what happens. Next is Greater Accra region. That's also a fierce battleground. Greater Accra is a fierce battleground because all people are in Greater Accra, whereas the Gans may be the owners of the land. Their majority populations are Akans, Ewes, and others. So Greater Accra is a real cosmopolitan conversation among many people. The results here will shock many people who have not seen this data before. The results are as follows. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia gets 19,002, representing 52.01%. Guess what? Kennedy Japan gets 17,282, which represents 47% out of a total of 36,284. So Greater Accra region came up for quite a close race in the 2023 election. Who is going to win Greater Accra this time? Looks very interesting. My next conversation is with Isaac Alfred. Alfred, I've forgotten his name, but he's Adenta Kumi. So Adenta Kumi is in Adenta. Alfred Abebio, yes, Alfred Abebio. He's in Adenta, and he's part of the Greater Accra votes. He's a polling station chairman, so he has a vote. I'm not going to ask him who he's going to vote for. I'm just going to ask him what's happening on the ground. What are people saying? 48 hours to go. Tomorrow there's no campaign. How is Adenta looking like, etc., etc. And of course, once it's Adenta, we are going to say good evening to Akusha Menu as well, isn't it? Okay, so this is Greater Accra region. It's going to be very fierce. The battle in Greater Accra is going to be fierce. I've spoken to my people in Labadi. I've spoken to my people in Teshi. I've spoken to my people in Nungwa. As at 5 p.m. today, they couldn't tell me where the thing is going. They couldn't. 5 p.m. today. Last 2023 time, the Tuesday before the Saturday, they called me and say, yao. And I said, what does that mean? Oh, yao. That's what they told me then. Oh, yao. I said, are you sure? So, yao. Today, 5 o'clock, I called Labadi. Tell me, I said, how is the thing going? He said, maybe I said, but are we getting it? Did they understand when I said, are we getting it? They understand it. And I said, oh, gets there, we'll get it. But how many? I said, that's always the thing. Oh, gets there, we'll get it. How many is the issue? This is a big matter. So from tonight, we are not sleeping. Tonight through tomorrow, analysis, conversations, phone calls. A lot is going to happen between midnight today and 7 a.m. tomorrow. I'm telling you, a whole lot is going to happen. Those that I can tell you, I'll tell you on my Facebook page. Okay, so Greater Accra, a big battle awaits. And history beckons, actually. And we all expect the best candidate to win Greater Accra. Northeast region, that's Mahamadou Bawumia's home region. There are 3,444 votes plus 23. It's expected, once again, that Bawumia will carry the Northeast region in a very, very big way. The last time Bawumia got 3,444, Kennedy Japan got 23. So once again, Northeast is going to come down very heavy for Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia. Next, Northern region. Northern region, I guess not much will change. Kennedy Japan is 1,995. Mahamadou Bawumia is 9,000. A difference of about 8,000, something like that, 238. And it's expected, again, that in the northern region, Mahamadou Bawumia will carry it handsomely. Oti region is another Bawumia stronghold. In Oti region, the last time, Bawumia got 3,422, and Kennedy Japan gets 1,222. All analysis points to the fact that Mahamadou Bawumia will carry the East Oti region once again. Savannah region, again, another Bawumia stronghold. Here, though, Kennedy Japan is pulling about half of it in the numbers, 1,028 and 2,603. Kennedy Japan seems to have done a bit better there than expected in the Savannah region in 2023. However, all the analysis and the polls point to the fact that Mahamadou Bawumia is winning the Savannah region handsomely. Upper East region, Kennedy Japan is getting 2,111 and Mahamadou Bawumia is getting 5,218. It's expected again that Mahamadou Bawumia will carry this region. Upper West region, Kennedy Japan is getting 1,084 in 2023. Mahamadou Bawumia is getting 4,878. Again, it's widely expected that Mahamadou Bawumia will pull that region. Volta region came in differently. It came in for Kennedy Japan. So Kennedy Japan won in Volta region, winning 5,845 votes. Mahamadou Bawumia wins 4,984 votes. Well, all the analysis and the bookmakers suggest that Kennedy Japan will carry again Central region and Volta region. What we don't know is what's going to happen in Western, Greater Accra, Eastern, and Ashanti. But the rest are quite well known. So Kennedy, they believe, will carry Volta region and he'll carry the Central region as well. When Dr. Evans Dua joins us, he'll tell us a bit more about what he knows. So Western region was carried by Mahamadou Bawumia, 4,000 to 7,000. We are waiting to see what happens. Western North, Bawumia won again narrowly, 3,386 to Kennedy Japan's 2,354. Then the national results were as follows. Kennedy Ohene Japan picks up 71,769. Mahamadou Bawumia 117,780, representing 61.41%, as Kennedy gets 37.42%. That's the national average. That's the national election. Let's wait and see what happens on Saturday, whether it's going to change or is going to remain the same. I guess you got some messages on this one. Shall we come to you, my ladies? And then we will get Adenta Kumi's conversation. Do we have a break? We do have a break, yeah. Okay, after Alfred, we'll take the break and then we see the results. Okay, so ladies, please come through. Is it Anzaba first? Anzaba, you first, please.
Much, Paul. Coming from Gamma, he says, Mr. Paul, I saw 3 military men, 2 females, and a male soldier. Lord Pobi says, time tells the truth. Gamma says again, Mr. Paul, it was 3 soldiers and a policeman, making it 4 security men, protecting just 1 man. Benedanso says, Paul, Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan has a message worth considering, industrialization. In his message, and the message is industrialization. Augustine says, delegates, there was no beauty in the Messiah, yet he saved the world. He spoke the truth, fed many, and laid down his life. I'll entreat you all, choose PhD, trade personnel gratification for the future of your children and the country. Hashtag vote Kennedy Japan. Junior Agba says, 5 gentlemen, but it's only 1 that we are voting for on Saturday. DMB is going to carry the day, no change. Coming from T-Bone, he says, Ken got 133 in 2023. This time we will shock them. And that will be it. Over to you, Fatih.
All right, thank you, Ansaba. Now, what Honorable Philip Mensah has to say, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia is such a nice, wise, deep-thinking human being. To all my NPP delegates and friends, choose number 3, a man of peace and unity. He used data to save this country by conceding early. He's sensible, serious, scientific, and sober. Eli Obama says, I commend you for your remarkable service to Ghana. Yes, Ken was the runner-up in the 2023 primaries, But what matters now is every thoughtful delegate is seeking a candidate who can deliver a victory for the New Patriotic Party in the 2028 general elections, and that individual is Dr. Bawumia, is likely to win with a minimum of 57% and maximum of 62% of the votes counted. Ken will be retiring after Saturday. Nana also says the wind of change is blowing giddy giddy. Ken Afa. Bra Awa says DMB is going to win all the regions. And lastly, coming from Raymond, he says Ken is the reason Alan left the NPP party angrily. He did not believe Ken could embarrass him by placing third. Good luck to all candidates and congratulations in advance to Dr. Bawumia. Now to you, Paul.
Let me 2 more messages. Let me see what people are saying.
Dr. Bawumia is winning. No runoff, inshallah. This time around, Dr. Bawumia's votes will increase nationwide. About 15 regions will vote high for Bawumia, and only Central region will vote for Kennedy, but with slim margin. Paul, this is what will happen on Saturday, inshallah. Yafrebi says chairman of boards of departments and agencies are also under Article 91 officer holders collecting ex gratia like ministers, deputy ministers, CEOs, and deputies managing directors, MMDAs, etc. So why the exemption? If not to protect some senior members like he himself, the General Secretary, against abuse of power by some government appointees to remove them from their executive positions. Emmanuel James says, beyond credentials, Dr. Bawumia presents the most compelling renewal within the NPP, a leader who confidently bridges the party's proud traditions with the demands of modern governance. In a fast-changing political and economic environment, his strong commitment to technology-driven solutions demonstrates a clear understanding that Ghana's competitiveness in the years ahead will be determined by innovation, efficiency, and smart leadership, not recycled ideas or outdated political playbooks. At this critical moment, votes for Dr. Bawumia is a vote for clear ideas over empty noise, strategic structure over and sustainable national capacity over short-term political comfort. It's a decisive choice for leadership that positions the NPP and Ghana to compete, win, and govern effectively, not just in the next election, but for the next generation. Vote number 3 this Saturday. Now back to you, Paul.
Well, okay. Is the video ready? Okay. Alfred, I saw the video that you were talking about as a young man in the NPP, and I'm interested in that conversation.
Yes.
You just want the peace and the party to be stable so you can move on.
Yes.
Is there a threat that the party could be broken with Saturday's event?
Well, yes. There's anytime there. Let me first say good evening to your cherished listeners, and thank you for the opportunity to be on the most powerful show in Ghana. Good evening, Ghana. Senior, when it comes to the New Patriotic Party, we've had history of breakups even before the formation of the New Patriotic Party. Our forefathers, when they formed the UP, elections have separated us. We've always known that it's always about elections. One of the things I've studied when we became the New Patriotic Party is that people like President Kufuor, Akufo-Addo, Alan Kyerematen, who are even followed, had one thing that they did very well. That when there's an election, they focus on the issues and they don't let the elections divide us. To the extent that it got to a point where Alan decided that there's going to be a runoff, but for the peace of the party, what should we do? We should let President Akufo-Addo go. So you look at some of these things and you see that the threat is there, that the party can break up. For example, I followed Alan Kyerematen to leave the New Patriotic Party. But one of the things after realizing that it wasn't just that I was born in the New Patriotic Party, but the New Patriotic Party, after serving some time, was born in me. Then I made the decision that I have to come back and serve my mother party no matter what. So you realize that these things can happen. One candidate can lose today, and tomorrow say that, oh, I'm leaving the party. And one candidate can even lose today and tomorrow say that because of the things you said about me, I will not support you. So we have to be careful how we manage this election. That's why I came out to say that I'm pleading with our uncles, our brothers who are running for this election. Let us be measured in the things you say. Because no one individual can win the presidency of Ghana without the New Patriotic Party. None of them. You cannot win the presidency.
You mean if any of them run for independent candidate?
They cannot. None of them. So, as we say, the elephant is the winning symbol. We must cherish the elephant. Yeah, after the election, we must all come together. Forget about what is behind, as Paul said in the Bible, and press towards what's ahead. 2028. And that is what I was calling. It doesn't matter who I'm supporting. At the end of the day, I'm a party person. At the end of the day, we are all party persons. We've all benefited from the party one way or the other. You cannot say all of them have benefited from the party one way or the other. So we have to put the interest of the party first. Our loyalty is not to any individual, but to the party. So whatever we are doing, whatever we are saying, we have to be measured. Our actions.
Have polling station chairmen like you been influenced by the money? Has the money come, as they say in politics?
The thing is that how much would they give you?
I know, maybe not much, but has everybody brought money? Or transport?
Oh, sometimes people will bring something for transport, motivation, and all those things. But we, the police station executives, one of the things that we sit down, we have conversations. Because how much would you give somebody for transport? 200 cedis, 300 cedis.
No, they're here 3,000.
Oh, it's not true. There's nobody.
Nobody's paying 3,000.
Nobody. They can. What money do they have?
The candidates. Nobody's paying 3,000.
Nobody can.
The highest is paying how much?
It's
no names, but just the highest.
I'm saying that I think some people have, even when they went around doing their campaign, when they come, and it's not that we demand it, that we move from different places. Imagine me coming from Trasaco side to have a meeting at Victory Presby. And I come and you tell me that you couldn't arrange transport or water or something for. And sometimes it's not about just transport. They know that they don't want to share food. Sometimes the meetings, they want to share maybe kenke. And we tell them that don't do any kenke. We don't want any kenke. Whatever you want to do, just pass it with us. Something that we can easily change. We will buy our own food. So, and it's not as if they come themselves and give the money to us. No. When they come, they leave it with the constituency to say that, okay, this is transport for the people. And these are things that they've organized. People have gone around, they've spoken to their people supporting them, and they know that, oh, these are some of the things that we have to do to let people come out and vote. And you know, most of the ordinary voters will tell you that without transport, they won't come out and vote.
Yeah, even on voting day, like normal.
So it's not anything to induce. You cannot give somebody money in MPP to induce them. How much can you give them? No, I'm telling you that nobody in MPP, this primaries, can say that they can induce someone with even more than 600 cedis. They don't have that.
But today is Saturday, so is the money coming tomorrow or has it come? There's a conversation. Has the money come? Has the money come?
So one of the things I know is that there are people who support candidates. They tell the candidate that, oh, leave Adenta for me.
Oh, okay. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's not from the... people always think it's from the candidate.
But some of it will be from the candidate.
No, it's the candidate saying that, okay, oh, Paul, then take Adenta for me.
So I have to pay Adenta.
You have a contribution for me. Please, then sort Adenta for me.
Okay, so I go to say Muhammadu Baomi. I say, Chief,
yes.
I have some money for voting day.
Yes.
Oh, you do? Where do you live? I say, I'm in East Legon. Oh, I beg, call this number. Take care of Adenta for me.
Yes,
that's what happens.
Yes, take care of Adenta for me.
So I call the number, constituency chairman. So I call you.
Yes, then you call.
Especially, Doc said I should come and see you.
Yes, then they saw. So sometimes you realize that even there are places that vary. There are businessmen and people that have interest in this, our politics. Oh, senior. There are a lot of businessmen that have interest.
Interest in who becomes.
Yeah, who becomes. I mean, I was talking to a businessman last week, and he was talking to me about character and, you know, this whole religious issues. And he made a statement. He's like, Kumi, one of the things you have to understand is that we go to church to shape our character. So everybody's character is their religion. So if you see a person and you really want to know who the person is, or you want to know what kind of religion the person serves in, he doesn't have to tell you many things. That's why even he, as a Christian, they tell them that, according to their deeds, you shall know them. When he said, I was so quiet, and he made that statement, he said, your character is your religion, and your religion becomes your character. And he was telling about why Jesus even preached the Sermon on the Mount and all those things, and that those messages were just not for people that in Acts chapter 11, we call them Christians. They said they looked at them. They looked at the way they behave. And he was like, what's going on? I was like, what are you saying? He said, someone can be a Muslim and be more Christ-like than you. And I was quiet.
No, that's always an age-old argument. But that's the we don't want to drift into a religious discussion, but we are saved by faith. Not by works.
Anyway.
So that's interesting. Anyway, is the video ready? Can we have a look at it? Okay, so this is the video that you put out. Those who haven't seen it, this is Alfred Abebio, Adenta Kumi, they call him. He's a polling station executive. I'm talking to him tonight about what happens 48 hours to the election from a polling station executive. Let's watch the video. We'll come back, wrap up, and then Dr. Evans Dua will come in.
Miniamo MPP for Miniamo Ghana for and then me Alfred Abebio Kumi a dodo frame Adenta Kumi maba opuna no me baya anya bone aka mreka kra bi ni akoyeden ni akoto aba eyi do betu franka ama ye party MPP me ebabunu de Bolikanen youth de bia me ka se ye babunu no ye daache hu hia ye sin ye bibia enti 31st ye koto aba no yen kai se enye wenchu wechi eye kabi mami kabi ye dimatem mami di watem enye propaganda tiao enti ye sey ye offer mo a wudi okun nanim a wo prince obetu franka ma bi pini se ye nyina ye hwe ya no kasa because enne ye wia ubehia unua de aka no mamu say party no de mo beka de mo be bia mo ndwen ye nchini ba no se mo nya mo de no mo de wia ye sere mo munkayen yemfa odo kruye enkoto aba no na yemfa chichire party the New Patriotic Party dia me de srew eni Denta Kumi medasi.
That was Alfred. So what happens on Saturday? What's your schedule? You are constituency chairman. No, polling station
chairman. So Saturday I'll head straight to Trasaco and get my polling station executives. That's how I've arranged with them. I get there and I pick them from Trasaco A and B. Then we all drive in 2 different cars and go to the station. One of the things.
Where the voting happening?
Victory Presby.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things we decided to do is that we wanted to go as a unit, and in Adenta constituency, one of the things that we preached about more was about peace. That we don't want what's our called giddy. We don't want any embarrassment. That it will be named that Adenta. This occurred in Adenta, so we tell you that we've shown you how you come and vote. You bring your any ID card, that is valid ID card of Ghana, your Ghana card, your voter's ID, your passport, that can confirm your name and your picture in their album. You come and vote. Then, if you want to wait around, you can wait around. But we want the place to be peaceful. We want it to be quiet. We want Ghana to know that Adenta is very peaceful, and we don't want people to come there wearing T-shirts. That's not the place you are going to convince someone, and that place you cannot also induce someone there. So anybody that is also bringing transport, it goes also straight to the leadership of the party in Adenta, and it does not go to individuals for someone to say, oh, we're here, or you're Adenta Kuminipa, we're so you're poor Nipa. So those are the measures that we've put in.
How many votes are to be casted?
In Adenta, there are 304 polling stations times 5. So if you look at it, it's about 1,500 thereabout. 1,500 thereabout.
And they'll be voting in Adenta.
They'll be voting in Adenta.
How does the votes get counted? You're closing at 2 o'clock, yeah?
Yes, we're closing at 2 o'clock.
And then what happens?
So when we are done, everybody agrees that voting has been closed. Then the EC officials will be the ones who go through the process with the permission from the Council of Elders of the party in Adenta. Then they can open the ballot to count who has won.
What happens after that? Do they take it to a coalition center for Greater Accra region?
So the EC is the one supposed to do that.
Okay.
But the agents of all the candidates will also follow the EC in a car to go. But before, I'm sure even before it gets to the Greater Accra, then the EC in Adenta has already sent a message to the collation center of the EC in Greater Accra to say that, okay, Adenta, the votes that came are this. The pink sheets are, with the new modern technology, people just scan with their phones and just send the pink sheets so that they can verify. After everybody, every agent of the candidates have signed that this is the correct thing that happened.
If someone wants a recount, what happens?
Yeah, you give him a recount. If somebody wants a recount, you give the person a recount. But I think
who makes the decision on invalid votes? Finally, at the counting, somebody says this is not a valid.
It's supposed to be the
electoral commission.
Yes, the electoral commission.
They
are the referee in there. So that's why, because every person in the party is a player, wants a particular person to win. That's why we brought the EC to be able to do this election. So it's the national EC, it's not our internal election operations, even though our internal election committee is coordinating with the electoral commission.
Okay, we have to end it here. Dr. Evans Dua is ready to come. So viewers, let's take a short break.
But
yeah,
I have a message for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from a Jusu in that
Yes, my people.
Yeah, they say that they know your mother's house. And they say they know your father's house. In fact, they say they know your grandfather's house. So they're expecting a call from you.
I will speak to Lawyer Kwame Boateng.
Okay, that's great.
He's the MP. I'll speak to him. Okay, viewers, don't mind Alfred. He's just pulling my legs. I'll be right back after the break where we'll be talking to Dr. Evans Dua. He's also from Ejuso, isn't he?
Watch it, not learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwai ma besisia. Abozig. Akache say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old dish. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort.
Uncle!
Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a Pesori insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biamu. Namum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Effie spray with Daimwa.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Chaco toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. You're on a kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Chaco's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a son of Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Chaco toothpaste. Choose Kel Chaco toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Sometimes.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for your time. People are sending me text. Let me read some of the text they are sending me. Hello, Paul. You know what is going to happen? All of you are going to be shocked. The nation will elect Kennedy Ohene Japan Walai one time, and you will all see. Why is this? We will all see. Please, what are we going to see? Okay. Another one says, listen to your analysis on what happened in 2023. I'm beginning to be afraid for Dr. Bawumia. If he had the control of himself as vice president, the president of the republic, the chief of staff, I'm guessing the IGP, the national party chairman, all officers of the party, and this was the results as you showed on the touch screen, then I'm very, very, very worried for Mahamudu Bawumia. Another person says, you talked about Eastern region. Please, it's a fait accompli. Brian Achampong will win Eastern region. He will win Eastern region by 40-something%. He will be followed by Kennedy Ohene Japan, and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will make the third, and then the two other candidates will follow. Another one says, Paul, I'm in Central region. The victory for Kennedy Ohene Japan will be bigger than the victory that he had in 2023. Another one says, from the Northern region, Mahamudu Bawumia will collect 101% Walai. Okay. And this Walai they add to the text. What do they mean? All right. Dr. Evans Jai is here. Let's get onto the touch screen and see what is likely to happen. Yes. Doc, that way, please. So he has a NPP presidential primaries, and it's a third public research. What's the executive summary? What did you find overall? We know you said Kennedy will win, but overall, what did you find?
So basically what is actually happening is that if you pick the third, it is important for the public to know that we did the first one in August, we did the second one September to October, and the last one from October 20th to January 9th. Now what happened?
Miniamo MPP for Miniamo Ghana for and then me Alfred Abuyo a dodo frame adenta kumi maba opna no me baya anya bone aka mreka kra bi ni akoye den ni akoto aba eyi do betu franka ama ya party MPP me ebabunu de bonika youth de bia meka se ye babunu no ye daache hu nya ye sin ye bibia enti 31st ye koto aba no yen kai se enye wentu wachi eye kabi mami kebi ye dimatem mami di watem enye propaganda tiao enti ye sey ye offer mo a wudi okunenim a wo prise obetu franka ama bipini say ye nyina ye hwe ya no kasa because ene ye wia ubenya unua de aka no mamu say party no de mubeka de mube bia mondwen ye nchini ba no se munya mudie no modie wia ye sremo munkayen yemfa odo kruye enkoto aba no na yemfa chichire party the New Patriotic Party now dia me de srew eni denta kuni medasi.
Dear delegates, let me begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to each of you for the warm reception you extended to me during my visit to your various constituencies. I deeply appreciate the hospitality, openness, and engagement you showed throughout my time with you. On Saturday, you will not merely elect a flag bearer, you will determine the direction of our party. You will send a message to the nation. You will decide whether the New Patriotic Party is ready to rebuild. Let us speak honestly. Our party has played a historic role in Ghana's development. We have expanded opportunity, strengthened private enterprises, widened access to education, and modernized governance. Our record is unmatched. But in the last election, we suffered a painful setback, and that defeat was not accidental. It was a message. It was a message that we must reconnect with the grassroots. A message that disciplines and humility must return to the leadership. A message that change is not optional. It is urgent. This Saturday is not...
Okay, we had a small technical problem, but we have managed to improvise. So we are on Dr. Evans Dia. So tell us the research.
So we had the August one, and then we had a September to October being the second wave, and then we had October 20th all the way to January 9th. Now for the last one, we had to follow the itinerary of most of the candidates. So we started, and that one is well explained. If you want us to just quickly.
Yeah, you can move on there.
Okay. Okay, so here. So we started with Bono, then went to Bono East, Aha for Western North, moved on to Central, Western, Volta, Oti, Northern Upper West, Northeast, Savannah, and Upper East, and then ended with Greater Accra, East Indian, and Ashanti. But this is the part of our conceptual framework that is important for the public to know. What we are doing is that beyond just the opinion polls, we are actually trying to situate it in a context. And there are two contexts here. So the context we are situating it is the 2023 primaries, and the second one is the 2024 general election laws. So what we do is that we take people through the entire process where they now, after we lost in 2024, MPP lost in 2024, they now begin to ask themselves questions whether there was a right candidate that was presented. If the answer is yes, then they want to maintain that same flag bearer. Then they ask themselves in 2028, can this candidate win as power? If the answer is yes, then they maintain. But once they are not too sure, then they look at the other candidates that are available, they filter those options, they begin to meet them through the tour, they start making up their mind, and they are at the last stage where most of them have already decided as to who they'll be voting for.
So you have gone through all these stages.
Yes. So
post-election reassessment,
exactly.
Preference filtering, engagement translation, consolidation, fragmentation, and dynamics, and then later stage constraints. Okay. So you asked them, so what next? What happened?
So for this particular context, it's good that I situate it again so that we get it. In 2023, I saw you just before we started showing the results for the the November 2023 primaries. If you look at it carefully, the first shock was in the August one, the superdelegates, when Honorable Kennedy Ohinejapon came second. Then the November, so he had August, September, October, and November, 4 months. With 4 months preparation, with less sophistication and a whole robust team around him that time, he was able to get about 71,000 as against 116,000. So we're looking at 37% as against 61%. So what it means is that out of every 10 people that voted, 4 on the average voted for Honorable Kennedy Ohinejapon, and 6 on the average voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, this is what happened in 2023. Fast forward, the election laws that happened in 2024 started making them ask themselves a lot of questions. Now we are in 2026, but this is the two-horse race till the other 3 candidates join. That's Dr. Brian Echampong, Dr. Yaosei Educhumen, Engineer Kwabneje Japon. Now they begin to filter it in the second stage. And why we are going through this whole cycle is that we are trying to understand the process through which they've arrived at choosing that candidate in our last wave. We want to understand the dynamics that went through. So we look at it right from the beginning that the 2024 elections influenced it. Now they are meeting them during the engagement translation and they are listening to them. Like we talked about the last time, 3 main things are important. One is the message, the personality of the candidate, and the people surrounding that particular candidate. So looking at that, they now begin to ask, we think that this candidate can go to war with us. Remember, these delegates are politicians, they are political actors, and it is important that we treat them as politicians. So nobody should just ignore certain demographics and ignore their what we call political memory. So as a matter of fact, when you promise them, they've already seen you. All of these 5 candidates have been around for a while. So they already have a certain level of understanding of who they are and who they say they will be. So they compare what you did in the past, what you've done currently, and what you're saying that you do. Now they consolidate that first by themselves, then the neighboring effect, they check around them. Then they look at the external one, those outside the MPP. They look at the global, and then they come to the last part where they now say, okay, we think that there's a person that I'll settle on. So by the time we go to the last wave, we had less people being undecided. So you can have
okay. So the big undecided, undisclosed was taken out.
So it was shrinking at the latter part.
Okay.
So as at the time we got to this stage, about 96.6% of the people had already decided who they wanted to vote for.
Where is it going? Let's go.
Okay. So this is just in terms of our data. So we still maintain the 204,893. This is the same people that voted in 2023 are the same people voting in 2026, in addition to former executive, former appointees, and we're looking at all the other new people that were added to it. Unfortunately, the time we're doing this research, it's important we give the scope of the research to delineate what we didn't do and what we did. Now, the 204 people was our surest delegates who will not be changed, apart from those who are no more. The additions were going through verification and they were going through removal. So what actually happened was that it went all the way to 215,000. And then they started removing some people who are no more and some people that were disputable. So basically, it currently is around 211,000 that will be going to the polls on. So we decided to stay with it. We did 40,988. We started at 20,000 in August. September, October, we did 26,000.
Was it the same 20? Was it the same? The people,
no, at each
a completely
time,
different set of people?
So it's not so much about completely different. At each time, we random sample them. So what it means is that we can have some people within the 20 that might be part of it, or it can be totally new people. But we
and they're all delegates?
They're all delegates. So from the album. And then 9,432 couldn't respond. So it's important to state that because either they are unreachable or they are unavailable. Now, we did this through structured phone calls. When you pick the delegate album, there are no addresses. So you can't even find where they stay. And you cannot cluster them like they do with the campaign and say, I need your opinions. Other people influence them. So we use the structured phone calls, and then that's how we did it.
No, you have to. Let me do it.
Okay. That way. So the worst case and then the best case, basically, the worst case is the raw data. Who would you vote for? And then the person says, I'll vote for A, B, C, D. Then we pick the person, then we apportion that one. And then undecided means that I'm not too sure who I'll vote for. Undisclosed, I know, but I don't want to tell you. So we have that one. But in the best case scenario, we assume everybody is voted on that particular day. So how we arrived with it is that if you pick the undecided and the undisclosed, if we take them like that, 12,000, we now sample them. We had research group A, research group B, and research group C. So now I'll give it to the research group B and C to now talk to them again. If we're able to get responses from them, then we use that sample to now extrapolate to the bigger one and say that, okay, this percentage will go to this candidate, then we apportion it to them. And that's how we arrived at that. And these are all the other biases that are all in there. I think my report is very clear that people can read it.
Okay, so here.
Yes, so this is the results as we can see. So what is happening is that in the worst case scenario, but I think let me even do the comparative. Here is better for people to see, because we are looking at the 3-wave. So in the worst case scenario, Honorable Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong starts at 41.73. Remember, he's starting from 37% in 2023.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is starting from 61%, and he starts in August from our poll. He starts at 39.09. So here we see a little rise here to 44.11. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia marginally rises to 39.51.
Who is Kennedy rising? At whose expense is Kennedy rising?
So each time that he's rising, normally is from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at that time. But in the second wave, it was Dr. Brian Acheampong who was losing out to both of them.
I see.
Yes. Because
so Kennedy moved from 41 to 44 to 47.
For the worst case scenario.
Okay.
And then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 39.09, he went up to 39.51 and he dropped to to 35.92.
Mm.
As the campaign was intensifying, that's when he dropped.
That's what you found?
Yes.
Your supporters will disagree vehemently.
At this point, I think I have a forward that I gave. There'll be a lot of, because people's political careers are at stake.
Mhm.
So, you know, politics is about interest. So quite a number of people would not take things lightly when even it's the truth that you are telling them. So I don't think at this point I would be bothered. And we have just to say
Kennedy's best case scenario is 51.
1.49.
Moving to 53.
0.8.
Then dropping to 52.
2.59.
What do you mean by dominant and stable?
So what is happening is that he's the only one within the best case scenario who is crossing the 50+1. Remember that this is not simple majority. In this particular post, the leader should cross 50+1. Otherwise, there's a...
And in your research, Kennedy Japan is the only one crossing
Yes, because there's none in all the waves, any one of them crossing 50+1 except him.
In his best case scenario.
In his best case
Dr. Baumia, in his best case scenario, does not cross.
Yes, he doesn't.
So his best case scenario here, you conclude at 36.24.
Yes.
So your thing is surprising.
So
it's quite shocking.
So the good thing here is that I always want to look at in terms of the numbers here. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry. Okay. So let's look at nominal figures. You know, today you started by showing...
So let's start another video from here. He's talking about let's look at nominal figures.
So here we are looking at what happened in 2023. You showed that one earlier.
Mhm.
And these are some of the expectations for the Saturday, extrapolations that we've done. If you look at Ashanti region closely here, it was 11,000 as against 22,000, what you showed earlier.
Mhm, mhm.
If you look at that figure,
Yeah.
what is actually happening here is that it is keenly contested, but in this worst case scenario, you're seeing 15,000 as against 14,000.
Mhm.
What it means is that Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan can win
Ashanti region.
Ashanti region.
That's where's the best case scenario?
So the best case scenario will follow just after. Okay, that's it.
In the best case scenario, Kennedy is getting 17,000 in Ashanti.
Yes.
Whereas Dr. Baumia is getting 14,000.
Yes. So what happens is that if you pick Ahafo, it's keenly contested.
Yeah.
If you pick Bono, now, Bono, when we started, the first wave here was for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Then it flipped. Bono East has maintained, but the gap keeps closing. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is leading. But if you come to the best case scenario, for example, for Bono East, here it changes.
Mm.
So the best way to look at it would be here.
Okay.
So here we look at the leaders per the region.
Mhm.
So for Ashanti region, from what we have, we don't see any of the candidates crossing 50%. In
So
Ashanti
at 44, who's leading?
At 44, Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan
Is leading.
is leading in Ashanti region.
Mm.
And then we don't see, so the best is 49.89 there. So we don't see any one of them crossing 50%.
I see Bono, you have 54s here for something.
Yes, so Bono is actually having a very good range. That means that a lot can change. So if you look at it, it's 48.4 to all the way to 54. That means that a lot of things can happen depending on what happens on that very D-Day. Bono is staying with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but because of the number of undecided and undisclosed, it can also flip. Then you have Central region still remain at 66.75, Eastern region 40.25, and this. So we are looking at here just for easy. We are looking at 10 out of 16 going for Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan.
10 regions.
Yes.
Kennedy to win 10 of the 16 regions.
And most
10.
of them are actually within this part, the southern, and then so you look at it
So
carefully.
Kennedy will lose in all the 5 northern regions.
No. So we had a surprise one in October to January. So if you look at it, Upper East is a surprise effect. The last time that I was here, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was winning all 5. But as at October to January, Upper East had flipped. So that's the only major change in the 5 northern regions.
I'm sure people may want to ask you a few questions. It's past 11, so let's take our seats and let's get... do we have video to show the... okay, so let's see the Akan version. If you understand what I mean, Tarek, the Akan version. Let's look at the Akan version. Then we can sit down and take the text.
MPP adehye esi ahene ne atu ahenefo me mamu nyina achi enye bone enne efise memenda ye koto aba timedi azisredi atu monim se monye madom na memenda monto aba ma Kennedy Japan monye gidie wo mu efise nsema me no maka nyina no abra me besra mo no me ba me diso amo nim se me ka me yo me hia film ho ne mpaibo se me ti ase nko na me ye president me make sure say ma hwe party efise edidigya hoi eni muna ne nam da bia no bosom party asom party eduru mre bi na party no tumi wo ho na okope bibia unu a one ne ye adwuma nyame ye nadom onya position o pa osiko ofesi kabra ko yesi mi pese muti mu ho ase na munya gidie se Kennedy Japan de me ba me nye nyimu me ma obi a nkoton adwuma emfa mani nti munyime ni na ewiase onipa bia wani munyam ani wadwuma party ma enya adwuma nye party ma eni sika party ma edi yawo nti party fo mesrem monye madom memenda ebe monto abama na me make sure so say obia obekọ no ye bebo no ho ban a obia ntimi fa ehunhuna emanin ensan so nkoto aba ebiem obia obeka kire so obeyi udin afiri mu no na ompe party ni yi ebize obia woti politics ase ope party ni yi a onka hu se oyi wu firi mu a wayi wu mafiri mu wayi wu abusuafo afiri mu wayi wu namfofo afiri mu general election ye koto aba se nipa we nyina no ebeto aba atiai ti munyan awireshem se Kennedy Japan de onye nyiyimu oba se wo pemasemu so pemasemu e party baako e tumi ne yepe enti mun nyamadom na memenda mun koto aba no mame efise ba bia onam bia Ghana force mo de Kennedy Japan ba dia ebeto aba ti se tumi ne yepe dia party ma mun nyamadom na menim se emrepemu no Nyankopon ebe kasa ewo memenda emo bi ehu nti munye kroye ehia kroye ewo party dem eno ne ade a ehia isisi we sisi Matthew Makaran emma MPP party nkoso ye pekroye nso de a ye ma perperio enya adwuma sa election a ye koi perperio enya adwuma na se ye adwuma MPP ebedi nkonyim enye me Kennedy Japan ena mti nkonyima medi nkonyim nkonyimdie no eba ebe for MPP nyina ti mesrem monye madom na memenda monto aba no number 1 ukọ hɔ a ensi utrase wo de hwesoro hɔ a number 1 nyame nhira mo nyina.
Okay, let's take some quick text messages from our social media editors.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Teddy says your explanation is nice, but Dr. Bawumia will win on Saturday. Raymond says you are working with the pastor who claimed that Ken will win. My ancestors in Zoko have confirmed to me that Dr. Bawumia is crowned the winner by the power of God. Nothing can change. Amatu says the delegates have already chosen Dr. Bawumia. Aziz Amankwa says, I'm going to vote for a businessman. Governance is business, not theory lecture. Look at Burkina president. His practical ideas has turned Burkina's economy. Ghana has suffered in the hands of book and theory people. It's time for a businessman to take over. God bless MPP. God bless Ghana. And lastly, coming from Abna Gifty says, Dr. Evans Dia is Kennedy's man. Giving him the last interview before the election will give Kennedy undue advantage over the rest of the candidates. Now to you, Anzaba.
Thank you very much, Fasi. Coming from Emmanuel Obuda, he says Brian Champo is winning through directs and bringing discipline into the party. Masapana Jr. from Kinsapo says, nothing can stop the victory of Dr. Bawumia on the 31st of January 2026. Inshallah, I trust the NPP delegates and they also trust Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. Let's vote massively for Dr. Baumia. Number 3 on the ballot paper is still possible with DMP. Emmanuel Obudai says again, Brian Champon is bringing discipline into the party. And then we have Julius Amako saying, if Ken doesn't win this presidential race, my family and I are done with the NPP. And lastly, coming from Amos Asante, he says, Ken is winning hands down. The best for Baumia is a second round. Over to you, Paul.
All right, Doc, so what was the conclusion?
So I think that for this particular elections, the main thing is that if you look at even what has happened with the MPP, whenever a new flag bearer is elected and he goes for an elections, by the time that the person comes for a second round, there would have been a clear lead between that flag bearer and then the contender. But this is an election that has been keenly contested by all. And for that reason, once it becomes anybody's game, then anything is possible. So that's how come we sought to actually find out about what is happening with the delegates. And we think that most of the delegates have decided, and based on the research work that we've done, we believe that quite a number of things may not change in terms of the order, but margins can alter here and there.
I've just received the research from Ashanti NPP constituencies. In Asante Achim, for instance, Baumia, they say he's getting 75%. In the Chuma zone, he's getting 71%. In such a Kumeu zone, he's getting 79%. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen this one? Okay.
The one who sent, he sent it, so I've seen it, and then check what the other candidates are getting, so that you have a balance.
So, for instance, in Kumasi Zone 2, Baumia is getting 60%, Ken has 21%, Brian 4%, Educhum and Kwamini Japan 0 respectively. Then there's another one here, Kumasi Zone 1. Baumia is getting 75%, Ken is 8%, Brian is 5%, Educhum and Kwamini Japan 0. What was the
So actually, I was there when I received it from one of them that this is what they have done, and this is what they are seeing on the grounds, and this is what their data is showing to them. And I said, I don't think anyone has a problem with what data is showing to them from their side of it. What we have done is to actually be able to interrogate and interview these delegates, and these are the outcome. The major difference with so many people when it comes to some of these research work is that because of the interest they have, the way they receive it, if it's not in their favor, is totally different. The same person that might have said A would say B if it goes in that person's favor. So I personally, I think I've said in my forward in my research that there will be a lot of selective interpretation when it comes to that. And we have enough evidence. The last time before I came, I mean, when we met, I showed you the entire process. And because ethically we cannot give the audio recordings, but I made you have a look at them, listen to some of them.
Yes, I did.
And then you check some of the constituencies. So I think we've gone past that. And I think by now most people know me. I hardly run down on what anybody has done. I was not there. I don't know what they did. I can only speak to what I have done and what my team have done.
Okay, so what would you be doing tomorrow relating to the Congress, Dr. Dia?
So I wouldn't be voting. As a TESCON patron, one of my colleagues would be a TESCON patron. He will vote. So I would be voting. So we'll just be monitoring till Saturday, 2 p.m.
So you'll be monitoring?
Yes.
So if Saturday comes and your predictions fail, what will happen?
So that's the point here. What we have seen is that plus or minus 0.5% margin of error at a 95% confidence level. What it means is that we do not expect things to change within the worst and the best case scenarios that we have predicted. So it's not a matter of if it fails. If it fails means that I have come, because we stated emphatically, we are not predicting the elections. I've not even called for the elections. We are just saying that based on this data, this is what can happen and would happen. And from where I sit, I don't see anything different happening.
What did Musa Dankwa say? He said 57% for Baumia. In his best case scenario, I believe.
Yes, so he had the first one that he came, and then he has his prediction. So he has a prediction. So he has one where I think there's some 48% for the, and then one he predicts 57. So he has what he did according to his research, and then the last one is a triangulation that is leading to a prediction. I hardly want to go there because it becomes a bit of interpretation. I don't.
But without prediction, he said the research puts both talks about me as 57%, 57.
It is.
In the best case scenario. I think the worst case scenario he draws below 50.
Yes, I think you mentioned 48, but yes. But the point here is that if you've looked at me carefully, I hardly would want to go head to head with someone's work. I would explain mine and then query another person's work. But there is the methodology and the sampling can make a lot of difference. And I remember when I had an interview with him on City, what I realized, one of your sister media house, I realized that he stated emphatically some people he didn't interview, even in the constituency. So
because he knew their opinion already?
No, because he saw that about 9 out of 10, which we all know, are the polling station executives. So he focused on the 9 out of 10. These are his words, not mine.
He focused on the police station executives?
Yes, that's what he said. So what it means is that he might have excluded some people. We decided to make sure that whatever we are sampling is representative of that particular constituency. So we did a whole proportional sampling, quota sampling. So basically, if it's a 1,400 and we are doing 20%, we're doing maybe 280. If it is a 600 and we are doing 20% for that 600, it means at the end of the day, we are looking at just 120. So what we did was to basically make sure that whatever sample size we have, and there was no human intervention with that. And then we did the calls, and then we put them in our live dashboard, and then we did the analysis. So from where we sit and looking at the data, but to make it easier for people to understand, let's pick the data that you showed earlier, the 2023 one. If you pick the case of Greater Accra, you pick the case of Central, then you pick the case of Volta region. What people need to understand is the population density within the 6 regions. So Greater Accra we are looking about 39,000 with the previous album. With the new 211,000, I still don't want to quote that one because it was going through some few verifications. In fact, I now have the new one, but unfortunately I couldn't have it on my laptop before this one. So the old one, we're looking at 39,000 for Greater Accra alone. Now, Paul, this might surprise you. But a place like Northeast, for example, is having about 3,490. It is not up to 10% of Ashanti region, not up to 10% of Greater Accra. So if you
yes, the numbers are smaller there.
Exactly. So if you win 100%, even in Northeast, and somebody should beat you at 20 to 14,000, a 6,000 margin, that alone will cover Northeast, and that alone can also cover the likes of maybe even Savannah and Oti. So what you'd have to look at is that we have to understand the dynamics within the regions and how best these dynamics are going to influence the work that is being done.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. It's beyond half past 11. Tomorrow by now, there'll be a few hours for voting to start. By the time we see you on Good Evening Ghana again on Tuesday, the MPP will have a flag bearer. Good luck to the MPP. May peace prevail and may the best candidates win. Good night.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
No, 1,000 times no. Jesus the Christ did not come to start a new religion, but to impart the life of God to humans, to regenerate them into sons of God. Have you received Jesus Christ? Then you are a new creature. The human is gone. You are now divine. Hallelujah.
Join Dr. David